Tell me, how big a moonshot is this potential iWallet?
Well, I've been wondering for over a year, Adam, why Apple hasn't made a move into mobile payments. And I speculated about a year ago, gee, Apple could go out and buy eBay and get PayPal. But I think now the stars are aligning. And another question I've been asking myself, as others have too, is would there ever be another creative leap by Apple now that Steve Jobs is gone? Because we know the iPhone 6 is going to be a great product, but it's not a creative leap. It's just a continued improvement of a great product that they've had in the past. But the creative leap, I believe, may well happen this week with the announcement of what Apple is going to do with mobile payments. And I think of it this way. First of all, Apple has 800 million credit card scored names in Passbook. It's been criticized about security, but it can take a two-factor security, which is biometric with the one-touch fingerprint plus a simple password. And it's now bringing in all the major credit card companies, Visa, MasterCard, Amex. It's bringing in major retailers such as Walgreens and CVS Caremark. And I think the fundamentals are in place for Apple to really build out an incredible mobile payment. Could be a creative leap.
Are they stealing that market share from anyone, or are they creating that market from nothing?
So many people, Scarlett, have wanted to be in mobile payments. We all know it's going to be huge. It's just a matter of time until it happens. But it was just like we knew smartphones were going to happen. I mean, there were smartphones before the iPhone, but Apple got all the pieces together right. And I think this may be what Apple does this week with mobile payments.
You mentioned 800 million iTunes account holders. Is Apple extracting enough value out of those guys?
Not really. They do about $5 billion of revenue out of iTunes, and I don't think they've really tapped the potential. They need something like mobile payments. And if you look at other things they're doing, apparently they're going to have near-field communications, NFC, in both the iPhone and whatever their iWatch is ultimately called. They're going to have iBeacon, which means messages in store can come right back to your device. And if you have a one-click to buy, they license that from Amazon. You put all those pieces together, and who does a better job than Apple integrating all the pieces together? I think we're going to be very, very pleasantly surprised. This may be their creative leap.
Maybe even creative genius. We were talking about capital expenditures a couple of minutes ago. This would require a huge capital expenditure by retailers, right, to put in all of the stations effectively in the stores that would enable this to happen, right?
Well, that's just for Beacon, and I think that, and maybe NFC.
But even iWallet, right? I mean, you gotta swipe the phone at a receiver, right?
Yeah, and I think if Apple had probably tried this a couple of years ago, it would have been too soon because retailers weren't ready to make that investment. But everybody knows there's a convergence between brick and mortar and e-commerce. Amazon's out building these same-day supply centers. So the retailers are highly motivated to figure out how do we get into the digital e-commerce game, and this is part of that puzzle.
I've been busting your chops, Mr. Sculley, this morning about your new book, Moonshot. I love this part. Steve Jobs, I threw the six-pack of Pepsi at him and he ducked. But seriously, in the back of your book, you've got some real wisdom. Learn in layers. I love that idea. How has Mr. Cook learned in layers?
Well, here's how I think about it. You start with a core competence, and Tim Cook, even before he became CEO, was clearly a world leader in logistics, supply chain.
Getting it done. Getting
it done. I mean, you got to get it done, particularly the complexity of a large business on the global scale of Apple. What he's starting to do now, though, is to bring in talent that is different than his own experience. But look at the fashion talent that's coming in. Look at the creative people that are coming in. And so I think he's saying he doesn't have to do these things, but he has to bring in the talent and motivate them.
From where you sit, would Steve Jobs be happy with what he would observe tomorrow?
I think he'd be really pleased that he picked the right guy to be the CEO with Tim Cook, and that he's doing a great job.
I mean, I look at the products and I know there's all this this and that. I just want to know, is the camera better? Because the photos are a miracle.
Well, the photos on the Apple 5s have been really stunning. I want to ask you, though, about the smartwatch, because there's also a lot of speculation on that. Very quickly, what evidence is there that people outside Silicon Valley want such a device?
Not a lot yet. I mean, if you look at the opportunity for watches, I mean, it's highly speculative. You know, what do people really want? Do they really want a digital watch? My sense is that's probably just a small part of what these devices are going to be. There are a lot of other things you can do with a wearable product on your wrist.
It's all about layers, right? All right, John Sculley, thank you so much. Former CEO of Apple and PepsiCo, out with his new book called Moonshot.